loaded, most certainly. Yeah, I get it loaded. You just ride the way. If you ride the way, shawty, ride the.
What's going on, everybody? Your boy Solo E, and I'm back with another fire video. So in this video, I'm actually going to be giving you a 5-minute scalping strategy that you can use to literally build your account. And this is a very simple price action, market structure, basic fundamental strategy that it doesn't require any type of skills, but just what you will see in this video. So guys, make sure you do me one huge favor: subscribe to this YouTube channel so you guys can stay up to par with everything that I'm gonna be dropping, as far as just vlogs to even podcasts and also strategies and just everything. One more other thing, guys, make sure you follow me on the real Solo E. There are literally fake pages out there being made of me. They are not me. The real Solo Me is the only page. I am not finna DM you first regarding about trading or having you sign up with somebody like a broker or having you give me money or something like that. I'm not finna do that. All right, so make sure you follow the real Solo E, and let's get to it, baby. So here's the first thing. I know the very first question I'm gonna get is, E, can you trade this in any pair? Does this work in any currency? Can you trade this with crypto? Yes, you can trade this with any other pair. I am actually looking at alt USD, and we're currently on a 5-minute time frame right now. So let me show you guys how this strategy works in a perfect world. So when you actually look at it, you'll be like, all right, I understand this. So when we go into the live market, you'll get the glimpse of how to actually trade this. So when we are looking at structure and looking at price action, you have to determine and really focus on that shift, the momentum, price action patterns, candlestick patterns, and all of that stuff. But what you really want to pay attention to is, has market broke previous highs, previous lows? So let's say that we notice market was going up, and you're like, all right, market's going up. It looks like it's creating this first impulsive wave, this first uptrend to the upside. Now what's going to happen is we're going to start maybe seeing consolidation at the top, which signifies that the market may reverse, which means we can start looking for that pullback. Now, what I had mentioned earlier, guys, is that we focus heavily on structure and just price action. We're not using anything else but just that to figure out our entry point. So now we notice that the market shifted, and then now we start to see market heading down to the downside, giving us that pullback. So now once we get this very first pullback, what I am going to do is actually draw out this line right here, because this is our resistance. Now what we need to do to determine that this is going to be a valid uptrend is very simple, guys. We wait on structure to break previous highs, which would be this high here. Once it breaks that, now I know that this is an uptrend. So what I am going to do next is very simple. I'm going to wait on a pullback. Now, when a pullback happens, the pullback can happen anywhere from above the line, which would be the resistance line, which would then become support, or it can even still go further down, as long, guys, as it does not pass your previous low. Your previous low is always going to be the move that had happened previously, regardless whatever time frame you're on. But we're on a 5-minute because this is a 5-minute strategy. So that being said, if I notice that market even came all the way further down here, that's cool. So then now what's going to happen is we're going to notice a shift in the market again. And what does a shift in the market looks like? Very simple. I mentioned this in a couple of my videos, but we just need to see wick rejections, or we need to see, you guys, for those that understand candlestick patterns, you know, dojis, spinning tops, shooting stars, inverted hammers, all of that stuff. Now, what I like to look for also is price action patterns. So price action patterns to me would be, if we're looking for up move, would be either double bottom, head and shoulders, or inverted head and shoulders, or triple bottoms, which would be like that. So now that I see that maybe one of these moves had actually end up happening around here, that's going to give me the signal to say, all right, you know what, let me go ahead and buy. Let me go ahead and look for a buying setup, and then that's when I'm gonna go ahead and take my entry. So now the next part is, well, E, where are you taking this to? So I use the Fibonacci to figure out all of my TPs. So how you guys use the Fibonacci is very simple. You take the Fibonacci tool, and by the way, if you guys don't have these Fib settings, you can actually pause the video literally right now. And now what we're going to do with the Fibs is very simple. We're going to take our Fibs. We're going to actually draw it from that previous low to the most recent high, because we want to figure out the next move. The reason why I'm not drawing it from here to all the way up here is because I'm on a 5-minute time frame, and maybe if I was on a 1-hour time frame, this is actually what the whole move would look like. but I'm not on a 1 hour time frame because I'm not looking for that move. We're not looking for sniper entries. We're not looking for anything like that. We're just sticking on the 5 minutes to get in and out. So what I'm gonna do is draw my fibs from this low to this high, and then that's it. Now, once we determine that we have the fibs drawn out, we see that we got wick rejections in our bottom. We see we get engulfing candles, or we also see we have a price action pattern, which would be double bottom, inverted head and shoulders, or triple bottom. We then take our buy. Now, where I take my buys to is very simple. I usually take it to this level right here, which is this -27, and I also take it to my 618. So for those that don't understand how to add multiple TPs in MetaTrader 4, MetaTrader 5, really you can't. How it works is very simple. Let's say that you want to get in a long position, which is a buy position. We're going to take an entry here, stop loss a couple pips here, and our first TP is going to be here. Let's say that, you know what, I want to ride this trade to TP2. TP2 is going to be the second Fibonacci point. So all I do is very simple. When market comes up to this TP1, all I'm going to do is move my stop loss to the previous high, which was where my line is at. This is the previous high, because what can happen is market could come all the way back down, and I'll be down if we up like $300 or $500, and then now I'm all the way back down to, you know, zero. So I always minimize my risk when it comes to trading, and sometimes I want to, you know, even make some decent money if I'm riding the trade to TP2. Now, I don't get greedy, and I make sure I try not to get so greedy. We are humans and it happens sometimes. But if you guys want to stick to that method as far as just minimizing your risk, do that. Another way you can go about it is also moving your stop loss to break even. So therefore, if the trade does even pull back further, it can still come up and hit that final TP. Either way it goes, that's what we're going to do if you guys want to ride these trades further. So that's pretty much how this will look in a perfect world. And then, yes guys, one thing I will say this, yes, market does consolidate, and sometimes you will maybe get in a move somewhere here, and then we might hit this, and then it might come down, and then come down here, and then come up, come down, come down, come up, come there. It doesn't matter, guys. If that happens, it is what it is. But I will tell you this, if it does break highs, as it always do in 5 minute time frames, especially 5 minute time frames, you will still be successful even when the market is consolidating. So let's go ahead and remove all this, and then let's look at the live market. All right, so now we are looking at the live market. So we're just going to basically go ahead and do our markups just like what I showed you guys before, and we're just going to see what we can get. So now, first and foremost, we have to look left a little bit to see what's going on, which I'm just really going to be focusing on this right here. So I see to the left, what actually ended up happening was market broke this low, which now means that this is a downtrend on just a 5 minute. Just a 5 minute, we're standing only on a 5 minute. So since it broke this low right here, what this means is that we can possibly see some more moves to the downside. So maybe what can happen is market could come down, come up, come back down, come up, and then shoot down. Now, one thing that I also noticed is that we have another low, which is here. So I'm going to mark this as my most recent low. And then we have to find our previous high. Our previous high, most recent high, will actually be this one right here. So what does this actually mean, guys? Very simple. If market breaks this high, we're just going to be looking for a move towards the upside. If market breaks this high, we want to see a pullback. But just because you get a pullback, don't just be buying it. For those that use the Fibonacci retracement, meaning that you draw your fibs from here to here, and you have a rule like, oh, if it hits my 382, I'm gonna just buy it because it's aligning with structure right here. That's great, but you also want to add price action to that, so you will, you know, not get in the wrong for a lot of these trades. So what we're gonna do is very simple. We're going to wait on these highs, these lows to break, and kind of figure out what is going on. So let's go ahead and play it through. As you guys see, market, and we're just going to move our wicks to here. As you guys see, market really hasn't broke this high. So since that's the case, that means we can still be in a seller's market. Now, before we can actually look for selling opportunities, we need to see some selling power. And what selling power means is we need to see price action patterns. We need to either see engulfing candles, wick rejections, something that tells us the shit is about to go the other way. So we're just waiting right now. and I am now actually looking for a sell, like what I said, because we're not breaking this high right here, and it looks like market is actually dying down. We're not getting strong moves to the upside or anything like that, so we just want to be cautious and just kind of see what we get. So now I'm seeing we getting these engulfing candles, and then now we just got this nice candle to the downside, which is this bearish engulfing candle. So this candle right here isn't much selling power to me, just because it is giving what you call an equal amount of engulfing from the previous candle, if that makes sense. So what I mean by that is, it's not like this. When you have an engulfing candle, I am looking for it to cover it ×2. So since I don't really see that here, what we're going to basically do is just see what we can get for the next candle. So the next candle isn't giving us anything either, so we still are in heavy consolidation, and then boom, now we broke to the upside. Now since we broke to the upside, does this necessarily mean that let's buy right now? No, we got to wait on a pullback, and in a pullback we need to see some buying power, because if we get that, then what we can do is easily get in for a buy. So before I do that, guys, we have to also make sure that we mark all of our levels, which is actually going to be this level here, because this is our most recent low as well. So now that we got that, let's go ahead and play this through and see if we can get market to pull back. Now market is pulling back. Now I'm seeing we getting so much strong moves to the downside that I don't know if we might get that move to the upside. So let's see. And as you guys see, we're still getting strong moves to the downside. So since this is the case, we're just going to have to wait to see what is going on. Now this move right here, guys, is not an engulfing candle, because we have a long tail at the top. And then as you see, look what ended up happening. We got another long tail at the top with this next candle, and then boom, we got a bearish engulfing candle, which signifies the sellers are now heavily in the market. Now a lot of you guys might look at this as a head and shoulders, which could be a head and shoulders, but like I say, per se, if we were to take this sell, we could, and then what we can do is take our fibs from the previous high to the previous low, and then we can look for these 2 TP levels. Now I'm gonna be honest with you guys, since this move is already close to my 27, I am not going to take this sell. But if you want to take this sell maybe for a little quick 3 pip move, which I'm pretty sure would probably be, yeah, not even about 2 pips, you can. But for me, I'm good. And as you guys see, it hit that TP, which is basically, y'all know, one of the TPs that we look for in our moves. So now if you guys look here, you notice that we're now getting this shift in the market, because we hit that fib point. 2, also you see that we're getting, maybe you guys might call this a spinning top, pin bar, whatever it is you want to call it. I'm just looking at it as weakness in the market for the sellers, which means the buyers may be coming in. So now we're just kindly waiting, and then now we got this long beautiful wick tail at the top. So your question may be now, well, should I buy it? No, we're not buying it, because guys, it actually went the opposite way, meaning that if we were to take our trend line, and I'll just extend this out, this was the previous low and we broke past this previous low. What can actually happen, I know a lot of you guys see this, is market can come up and still shoot down. So before we can take this buy, we needed to break the previous structure moves, which is actually going to be, let me move this here. This is the next high right here. So we need to break this in order for us to buy. So let's see what happens. Now if you guys were to buy this, let's see if you would have made some money. It looked like you probably would have been in heavy consolidation, because once again, you're not going anywhere. So now we're just simply waiting on this high to still be broken, because we need to determine that this is going to be an uptrend. Now what I'm gonna do is move this trend line, because guys, you got to remind yourself, you're in a 5 minute, you have to readjust yourself to the market 24/7. So now we're just playing this through and waiting for market to make a move. Now also guys, as market is making these moves, we also have another smaller high, which is this one here. So if we do break out of this one, meaning that we can get something like that and then a pullback, then I will actually take a buy using my fibs to figure out my TP level. So let's see what happens. So market is breaking the other way. So since it's breaking that way, does this actually means that market is going to continue down? No, because we still have this trend line to be respected for. So now we're just simply going to remove this one, because I don't like too much noise on my actual charts, because now we're just going to use this trend line and we're just going to see if we can break to these highs. And then now we officially broke these highs, this high right here. So let's see if we can get a pullback. And then now we got a pullback. I don't like that. Like, once again, guys, I'm not liking those equal wicks. I want a better candle. And then boom, now we finally got the move. So now what we are going to do is very simple. So your question may be, well, are you going to take this to here to here? Because if so, it already hit the 27. You can, yes. However, I'm going to take it from here to here and then ride it to that. Reason being is because I know that this whole retracement right here, is based upon this move right here. So since that's the case, what I'm gonna do is draw my fields from this point to this point, and then we're gonna actually ride to these TPs here. So let's go ahead and do a long position here, and then we can actually do our stop loss just a couple pips away from these lows, and then we're actually gonna ride it to this TP, and then we can ride it to the second TP if we want to. But let's go ahead and play this through. So as you guys see, we did smash TP1. Now let's see if we can smash TP2. And then now what I had mentioned earlier too, guys, if you want to ride to TP2, just simply either move your stop loss. You can either move it to break even, or you can move it to the previous high, which is basically this high right here from this move, and then just ride it to TP2, because right now, regardless, you're still in profit. And as you see, it did smash our stop loss, which was in profit regardless. So if you would have taken the TP2, unfortunately, you probably would have got stopped out and whatnot. But it is what it is, guys. You still made money off of that move. Now, guys, when you are using this strategy, your main focus on this is looking at just candlesticks and wicks. So if you notice that you have very long wicks at the top and no wicks at the bottom, that is telling you that there may potentially be a shift in the market, meaning that the sellers are going to come in. Now, if you also notice that you got an M shape double top, simply that means that the shift is also going to reverse, because the buyers cannot hold their position, so the sellers are going to come in. If you notice a double bottom, same exact thing. The sellers can't hold the position, so the buyers are going to come in. And these are what you're looking for in order for you guys to take these sells and take these buys using the Fibonacci. So if you guys haven't already, make sure you sign up with the broker down below. You guys can actually trade a lot of these different currencies, indices with a small account. Osprey FX, the information is down below. Sign up with them. Also, they do have funded accounts. You guys can actually get a funded account with them all in one, which is pretty dope. You can use my code SOLO20 if you guys want to go ahead and get that. Otherwise, guys, I appreciate the love and support. I will see you guys in my next video. Peace.